Today we're going to be talking about physical and chemical properties and changes. We're going to talk about those. We're also going to talk about the difference between a property and a change, which is very important for you to know. The first thing that we're going to talk about is physical properties. Physical properties can be observed or measured without changing it. When you have a property that can be changed without actually changing what the material is, then that is a physical property. Examples of physical properties include mass, density, volume, color, odor, which is how something smells, state of matter, and texture. Those are all examples of physical properties. I want you to describe at least 3 physical properties of this object. I want you to push pause while you do that, and we will discuss these as a class when we are finished. Which statement is not a physical property? A, it is burning. B, it is silver. C, it flips. Or D, it has buttons. Again, push pause to answer this, and this is another one we will go over as a class. Now we get into chemical properties. And chemical properties describes matter based on its ability to change into new matter with different properties. So when you have a chemical property, it's the ability to change into a new matter. A property is the ability to, is not actually changing. And so chemical properties change material into a new material that has different properties. On this object, I want you to describe at least 3 physical properties of this object. Again, push pause. We will discuss later. Chemical properties, again, just to reiterate, describes matter based on its ability to change into new matter with different properties. Again, a property is the ability to change into new matter with different properties. Meaning it's not going to be the same as it was before the reaction happened. Chemical properties. These properties can only be observed during a chemical reaction. Examples of chemical properties include flammability, which means the ability to burn, to catch on fire. Flammability and reactivity, the ability to react with other substances. Are flammability and reactivity a chemical property? Answer that now. We will discuss when we are finished. Now I want you to list 4 things that have a flammability as a chemical property. List 4 things that you know that are flammable. Push pause to answer this and then play when you have finished that. Physical changes. Now we're in physical changes, actually changing. This happens when matter changes mass, density, or volume. When you change those things, you have physical changes. Physical changes do not form a new substance. The molecules are the same. The molecules are the same in a physical change. You don't have a new material. It's exactly the same. It just has a little less mass. Its density may be different by different means, or its volume is different. You've torn it in half, and now you only have half of what you had before. It doesn't take up as much space. I want you to identify why the picture below is a physical change. Write your reason next to the picture. Right here, I want you to pause and write why this is a physical change. Here's another question for you. Humpty Dumpty fell off the wall and broke apart when he hit the ground. Did Humpty Dumpty experience a physical change? A yes or B no. Answer those and we will discuss as a class. All right, now we're into chemical changes. Chemical changes are when one or more substances are changed into new substances that have new and different properties. When two things react and you get a new substance, they're going to have different properties. They're not going to have the same from before they reacted. Hence that a chemical change has occurred. If you see these things, chances are you had a chemical change. A new color appears. Not always, because you could color a piece of paper and it'd be a physical change. But if a new color appears, chances are it may be a chemical change. When heat, light, or sound is given off, you could possibly have a chemical change. When bubbles from a gas appear, you probably have a chemical change. If you have a new odor or a new smell, if a solid material appears in a liquid called a precipitate, and we talked about that. We looked at that in our vocabulary yesterday. If the change is difficult or impossible to reverse, chances are you have a chemical change. These are all hints that a chemical change has happened, that you have a new substance with new properties. Why is this a chemical change? I want you to write your answer next to the picture, and I want you to tell me why a leaf changing color is a chemical change. We will discuss as a class later. Under each picture, I want you to describe to me or give me a reason why each of these is a chemical change. And again, we will push pause, write your answers. We'll discuss these as a class. I'm sorry, I think I said physical change. I mean chemical change. Push pause now. All right, we are going to do these as a class, but I want you to just look at these. There's nowhere to write your answers on your paper. Actually, you can write fire on your paper and tell me, is this a physical change or a chemical change? Push pause, write your answer. Is this a physical change or a chemical change? Push pause, write your answer. Is this a physical change or a chemical change? Push pause, write your answer. Is this a physical change or a chemical change? Push pause, write your answer. Is this a physical change or a chemical change? And we're talking about from step 1 to step 3. All right, that is the conclusion of this video. When you are finished, if you would put your iPad away and get ready. Actually, I'm sorry, I'm changing that. Do not put your iPad away. Put it face down when you are complete.